You ever wonder what the difference is between repression and suppression? I had to look this up for myself. Repression is an unconscious process where thoughts or feelings are pushed out of awareness, while suppression is a conscious, deliberate act of trying to ignore or control them. So what does this look like in your marriage? What does it look like in your relationship? What does it look like in your life? When we are repressed, when there is something that is going on subconsciously that we're not aware of, we've got a story in our mind that we're holding on to, we're dragging forward from past events, from assignment of meaning, something that we have internalized a long time ago, and then we repressed it, right? We've got it in there someplace, and it's influencing our behavior. A lot of times this type of thing can show up when we have money issues, conflicts with money. Our relationship with money is not particularly healthy. We have a self-image of how we see ourselves, how we see our relationship to money, and then what happens is we'll get a raise, or some money will come into our life, and it'll be something that we've worked hard for. It'll be something that we wanted, and then we'll find real creative ways to get rid of it. Right? We'll say, man, if I only had $10,000, I'd be golden, right? That life would be good. And then you get $10,000 and you're like, let's go buy a boat, and then the money's gone, right? Now you got a boat sitting out in your driveway, that has tags and insurance and all other things other expenses that have to go along with it. And you maybe only use it once or twice a year, or occasionally on the weekend. Suppression is when we are consciously, like it said here, consciously pushing out of awareness, right? Trying to avoid or not face, while with a deliberate act of trying to ignore or control them. So for something like that is where we can find ourselves in a relationship where we've muted ourselves, where we've turned ourselves inside out, where we're not honest with ourselves, where we are pretending to be somebody that we're not, right? We're keeping the peace, we're getting along to go along, we're trying to not rock the boat. And when we're in that place, we think that we're doing the right thing. We think that we are keeping the peace, that we're interested in a healthy relationship, that we are trying to be kind, maybe avoiding conflict. But the problem is that we're disowning ourselves. We're disowning ourselves in a way that is almost worse than the repression part. The repression part is something that we're not even aware of, we're not conscious of. Like it's just kind of there, running like background music, like elevator music. You push the button, you step on the elevator, you're thinking about what floor you're gonna go to, you're thinking about your next meeting, who you're gonna meet up with, what you're gonna have for lunch that day. And you don't even hear the background music until at some point you go, is that Metallica? It's just playing. It's playing when you step on the elevator. And it's been playing for so long that we don't hear it anymore. And we have to become aware of it before we can ever make a choice about it. But when we know about it, and then we're suppressing it, that's when we're pushing things down. That's when we're eroding our self-trust, our self-respect, our self-confidence, because we're not really being who we want to be. We're not really being who we choose to be. We're pretending to be somebody else that we're not. We're disowning parts of ourselves. And this is why in the men's community, in men's work, a lot of times you'll hear the words integrated man. You're trying to be an integrated man. The opposite of that would be somebody who's fragmented, somebody who's disconnected from themselves, because they believe that there's parts of themselves that aren't good, that aren't okay, that they can't be themselves. And I'm not talking about having just destructive, toxic tendencies, things that we do that break our relationships and are unhealthy for us. I'm not talking about those types of things. We do have those types of things, and we can try to suppress them. We can try to push them aside. We can try to say, no, I'm not doing that. And those aren't parts of us that they're not who we are. They're things that we do. What I'm talking about is this. When we have a natural tendency to want to laugh, to play, to be goofy, to have fun, to be sexual, to be expressive. And then we find ourselves in a relationship where we believe it's not okay to do that. where we turn off music when someone comes in the room, where we change our behavior when someone shows up from work, where we're in this place where we're not really being ourselves. We're living a muted version of our life. And we're just trying to keep the peace. And the problem with that is it strengthen our sense of self. It doesn't bolster, strengthen our confidence. It doesn't strengthen our self-esteem, our self-acceptance. It erodes it. It erodes it little by little. And then we give ourselves and the other person in our life, our wife, our friends, our family, our co-workers, we give others a muted, eroded, less than unhappy version of ourselves. And that's really not how we want to live. It's not, every man that I talk to, that's not how he wants to live. He wants to live fully as himself. He wants to enjoy his life. He wants to be happy with who he's being. He wants to be authentic. He wants to be real. He wants to be genuine, right? You hear these phrases all the time. If you'll just stop down and think about what those words mean and how they feel in your chest and what it means to be that man, you'll know that that's the way we want to live, not the way that we've been living in order to try to keep the peace. So if you find yourself in a relationship where you've got some operating instructions, you've got some rules in your head, some stories that are going on that have been playing for so long that you don't even hear them anymore, that you don't even really know what they are at this point, but you know they're there. You keep finding yourself doing self-sabotaging things, then let's talk. Or if you find yourself in a place where you know that you're suppressing, you know you're pushing down, you know you're not talking about the things that you need to talk about, that you're not owning your desires, that you're not really living the life that you want to live as a man, then let's talk. Your marriage deserves a whole, happy, healthy version of you. You deserve a whole, healthy, happy version of you. And your wife deserves a whole, healthy, happy version of you. And when we are being that man, that's where life is rich and full and glorious. So go to happymancoaching.com, fill out my contact form. Let's schedule a call together. Let's talk. Let's talk man to man. Let's really get down to what's going on. Let's be honest with each other. I'm not just talking about you telling me what's going on. I'm going to tell you some of my things too, because one of the things that I've learned to do is be vulnerable, to go first, to let you know that it's okay for you to open up and share, that we're not going to judge each other, that we're not going to criticize each other, that it's not about being right or wrong or good or bad. It's just about being honest with ourselves and making choices based on who we enjoy being, who we want to be in this life. So go to happymancoaching.com, fill out that contact form, let's schedule a call, let's talk. I guarantee after the call, you're gonna feel better. You're gonna feel lighter, you're gonna feel like you can breathe, you're gonna walk a little taller, you're gonna have more clarity and more strength and more confidence in yourself. You're gonna know more about where you're going and what you need to do in order to experience the life that you wanna have, and maybe even create the 2.0 version of the marriage that you have. That your wife can experience a different version of you, and that the two of you can actually have a different type of marriage altogether. One that's stronger and healthy and happy because you're happy. All right, brother, that's what I have for you today. Go to happymancoaching.com, fill out that form. I'll talk to you soon.